So during these 2 slides, there's no questions. If you need an answer, review from your notes from the last class or send an email. So 2 key terms: trail referee, lead referee, direction of play. You need to have that down. Second key point: if you are the trail referee down here in the right-hand corner, and you see a foul up here where the lead referee is or pretty close to it, do not blow your whistle. The lead referee may want to play on. He may have seen something you didn't. Maybe he wants to let him play through a tackle. Before you blow that whistle, make eye contact with the lead referee. Count to 3. Blow your whistle if you are 100% sure the lead referee could not see what you saw. Don't leave your teammate hanging out there. All right, that's review. Let's rock and roll. All right, what we're going to cover tonight: overtime procedures, varsity, and you'll also see how it shapes in with the junior varsity. Kicks from the mark, varsity, junior varsity, and restarts, varsity, junior varsity. All right, so we'll start with the tie game procedure. It says when the score is tied at the end of regulation time, the referee will instruct both teams to return to their respective benches. And try to get rid of people. 5-minute period to confer with coaches. Regular season shall be 2 full 5-minute periods. Playoffs shall be 2 full 10-minute overtime periods. You have to remember these are full periods, no sudden victory. A coin toss to be held as in Rule 522D, page 32. I've marked a few of the pages during the presentation, so it makes it easier. Let's see if I can get rid of this left-hand side. Okay. The winner of the coin toss shall choose. The visiting captain is the one that chooses it in the air, and they'll choose defend or kick off first. At the end of the first 5-minute period, teams shall change ends. There shall be a 2-minute interval between periods.
Anybody else lose audio?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bob. Let's find out.
All right. So at the end of the first 5-minute period, teams shall change ends. There shall be a 2-minute interval between periods. You can make substitutions during this time. Okay? Either team may substitute an unlimited number of players from the bench between periods. At the conclusion of both 5-minute periods, teams will play 2 5-minute sudden victory overtime periods. Again, a coin toss to be held. If the match is tied after the first 5-minute period, the teams will change ends. There shall be a 2-minute interval between periods. If the match is tied at the end of sudden victory time, at the end of the second victory period with the score tied, and this is kind of key, make sure everybody knows what's going on. It says all coaches, officials, team captains shall assemble at the halfway line to review the procedure for kicks from the penalty mark. That referee crew should do that before the match. Everybody should know their job before the match even starts. All right, the head referee shall choose a goal, which kicks from the mark shall be taken. Each coach will select any 5 players, including the goalkeeper, on or off the field, except disqualified players, to take the kicks. So sometimes we have rules where it says only those players on the field can take kicks from the mark, but in high school, it's any 5 players. How do you start it? Coin toss to be held. The visiting team captain again calls the coin. The team winning the toss shall have the choice of kicking first or second. Teams will alternate kickers. There is no follow-up on the kick. So once the ball is kicked, it's dead when it stops. The defending team may change the goalkeeper prior to each penalty kick. So what coaches may want to do is delay the next kicker, kind of get in his head a little bit. So you have to be in charge. You have to show your referee presence. And when they do want to substitute for the other keeper or somebody else, you better make sure that person is dressed, they have their gloves on, they have their underwear on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because that's a good way to get in the other team's head and try to rattle it. So can they substitute? Absolutely. Can they delay the game? No, they may not. Following the 5 kicks from each team, the team scoring the greatest number of kicks shall be declared the winner. Reporting the score. You add 1 goal to the winning team score and credit the team with a victory. And when you send in the high school report, you should make an annotation or you should make a note indicating, there were kicks from the mark and the winning score reflects it. Score tied after the first 5 kickers. Each coach will select 5 different players than the first 5 who have already kicked. Kicks from the mark now becomes a sudden victory situation. So if the first guy, which would be number 6, kicks and misses, and number 6 from the next team scores, the game is over. If one team scores and the other does not, the game is ended without more kicks being taken. So let's get into some of the weeds here. If a team has fewer than 10 available players at the end of the first 5, the coach must use all players who have not participated in the first 5 kicks. The coach may then utilize kickers from the first round of kickers, but everybody has to kick first before you bring those first people back. If the score remains tied after 10 kicks from the mark, the coach selects any 5 players to take the next set of kicks from the mark. If they have, less than 10 people, then of course they're going to have people who kicked already, and the coach will probably select the first 5 just like he did the first time. During all tiebreakers, kicks from the mark, the ball remains alive until the momentum is spent or it dies, goes out of bounds, or is retouched by the kicker. Again, there's no follow-up on the kick. Kicks from the mark. Unless participating as a kicker or goalkeeper, team members, coaches, and other bench personnel shall remain in a designated area. And as the referee, I would designate that area to be where? At the benches. You have better personnel management, man management. It's just safer for everybody. Caution players. Now this gets a little tricky. It says one of the 5 players listed to take the kick is cautioned after he or she takes the kick. That player is not eligible to kick again until 1 complete set of 5 kicks has been completed, beyond the set of kicks in which the caution was issued. One of the 5 players listed to take a kick is cautioned before they take a kick. That player is not eligible to kick until the next set of 5 kicks. Another eligible player not listed in that set of kicks must take the caution player's original kick. When a goalkeeper is issued a caution during any set of 5 kicks, they cannot re-enter until the next opponent completes his or her kick. A substitution is permitted for the cautioned goalkeeper. Disqualified players, any player including the goalkeeper who is disqualified, may not participate any further. So this is where you have to keep track of yellow cards, red cards, make sure that somebody doesn't come off the bench and play that's not supposed to. It says if his or her kick is not already completed, an eligible substitute is permitted. It says what are the common elements of a restart? All kick restarts, the ball must be stationary. Sometimes players will get in a hurry and the ball will still be rolling, blow the whistle, stop play, tell them to put it back. The ball is in play when the ball moves. How far is that? It used to be 1 complete revolution, but the ball doesn't move when somebody just puts their foot on top of it and walks away. Opponent's distance from the ball, they have to be 10 yards from the ball. Drop ball is 4 yards. The referee will whistle for kickoffs, penalty kicks, indirect free kicks, and direct free kicks.
Before you go on, there was a question at the very end of the kicks from the mark presentation.
Yep.
It was, what if you go 11 deep and kicks from the mark? Do you recycle? I'm not sure I understand that, but I think he's asking, can a player who's already kicked take the 11th kick?
Yeah, any player after the first 10 can kick again.
So once we get to the first 5 cycles, any of the players can kick, whether they've kicked already or not.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, sir.
How many restarts are there in high school soccer? Any guesses? There are 8 of them, and you'll see them on the left of your screen. Penalty kick, corner kick, kickoff, indirect free kick. Some people just use IFK. I like to put indirect free kick, direct free kick, kicks from the mark, a throw in, and a drop ball. All right, so first question of the night. The referee whistles to indicate the start of play, at which time the timekeeper starts the clock. True or false?
Come on, you newbies.
It's false. False.
Where's Seamus? Go get Seamus.
All right, let's see.
When the ball starts.
The clock starts when the ball is properly put into play, not when the whistle blows. Well done. And there's a page number if you're not sure. All right, the kick cannot be taken. We'll talk about ceremonial free kicks. The kick cannot be taken by the attacking team until the referee gives a separate signal. The whistle under the following circumstances. The attacking team requests a ceremonial free kick by asking the referee verbally or visually for the minimum distance to be enforced or to move the wall back. Now, one of the things that I see people do is they put their finger on the whistle up in the air and they show the goalkeeper. And when they have their back turned, the kicker kicks the ball. So show your whistle up in the air to the person that's going to kick the ball and tell them, not until my whistle, or however you want to say it, okay? It says the referee or assistant referee with the referee's acknowledgement chooses to enforce the distance for game management purposes. If you are working a 3-man system, you can have your AR come in and have him assist you setting the wall. Ceremonial free kick only used when a red or yellow card is to be given for misconduct occurring prior to the restart. A serious injury occurred requiring the trainer to enter the field to attend to, but not treat the player on or off the field, because you don't want to have them take a quick restart and the player's on the field or the trainer's on the field or the coach is talking to someone. The attacking team requests that the minimum distance requirement be enforced against the opponent. And when you walk off 10 yards or when you jog 10 yards, that's 10 yards. You're the referee. Okay, if they don't like it, too bad. The referee decides to slow down the tempo of the match for game control purposes. For example, to have an extended formal conversation with a player. So there was a foul, you need to talk to somebody, give it a couple of loud tweets. Number 7, come here. You've slowed the game down and the game does not start until you blow the whistle. I tried to use a couple of team names instead of A2 and B3. And so the Florence player is tricked in the Orangeburg penalty area as he was about to shoot on goal. He is injured and must leave the field of play. Florence substitute number 2 enters the field and takes the penalty kick and scores. Orangeburg proceeds with the kickoff. So is there an offense? And what is the responsibility of the referee? So is that okay?
No.
Has to be a player on the field.
Right.
Substitute can't take the kick.
Referees blew it.
Outstanding. So what is the responsibility of the referee? Does the goal stand?
No. No.
The goal stands. You have to put that in because the ball has already been put back into play. Orangeburg proceeds with a kickoff. What is the responsibility of the referee? He better do a very good report as to why he let Orangeburg kick off after somebody illegally scored a goal. Questions on that?
Hey,
So if
Bob,
Yep.
this is Jack Kowaleski.
Yep.
You may want to explain to the newbies here what happens if the other team doesn't initiate the kickoff and all of a sudden the team that was scored against says, hey, somebody's really smart, knows the laws or the rules of high school and says, hey, that's not a good goal.
Excellent. Yep.
If they have not kicked off yet, what would be the restart?
All right, so that number 2 scores a goal. You start walking to the center. You're making a note, and let's say even your AR called you over, or one of those players called you over and says, hey, this is illegal. He shouldn't have taken the kick. You take the goal away, and it's a goal kick. You restart with a goal kick.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Substitutes for cautioned or injured or bleeding players may not take the penalty kick when entering the game during a penalty kick situation. Page 66, Article 5, exceptions for free kicks. The score stands on a report detailing the incident is made. And I know some of you don't have a book, but you'll have this slides to go over, and you can just look it up. Opposing players shall be 10 yards from the ball in all directions until the ball has been played. Fort Mill has a direct free kick. Chapin defenders have set a 3-man wall with the correct 10-yard distance from the ball. A Fort Mill player, number 9, moves into the wall and refuses to move. What is the correct sanction for Fort Mill, number 9? Anybody?
Caution.
Okay, because I invited them in family games. Sam and Andrea are in Turner family.
He has a caution for delay in the start of the game.
Yep.
We have caution for delay car.
Yep, we have a caution. And this is right in the black and white of the book. An official shall caution a player who fails to move the required distance away from the ball or the defensive wall when 3 or more defenders are in the wall. All right, kickoff, start of play. The referee signals with a whistle. In an arm motion, at the moment of the kickoff, all players except the player taking the kickoff shall be in their team's half of the field. Players on the opposing team shall be 10 yards from the ball until it is kicked. The ball must be kicked and moved. You can't put your foot on the ball and say it was moved.
No, hand me that cup.
So if that happens, the kick is retaken.
You're having a ginger ale.
I don't have any ginger ale. I just have some water. All right, direct free kick and indirect free kick restarts. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. That's what the book says. Now, not on that blade of grass right there. If it's within a yard, if it's within 2 yards, your object as a referee is to keep the flow of the game going, okay? Now, is it more critical if it's in the attacking third to get the ball as close as possible to where the foul is? Yeah. In the defending third, could it be 4 yards away from where the foul was? Yeah, if the ball's coming out, okay? But if you're going to, slow down the game and say, nope, the ball goes right on that blade of grass right there, then you're going to lose a little bit of respect, a little bit of referee presence. All free kicks can be taken in any direction except the penalty kick. On a direct free kick, a goal can be scored directly without another player touching it. On an indirect free kick, the ball must be touched or played by another player of either team before entering the goal. What if the ball enters the goal on an indirect free kick without touching another person? Anybody?
Goal kick coming out.
Yep. If it's an indirect free kick for offside, taken from the spot where the offending player interfered with play, or interfered with an opponent or gained an advantage by being in that position. All right, so let's look at this diagram. Hard for me to see the top, but it says blue defender number 9 passes the ball to number 2, who is in an offside position. Blue number 2 comes back to the ball and gathers it. Blue number 2 is offside. Where is the restart? Indirect free kick, A or B?
A.
Hey, where he touched the ball.
Right, where he touched the ball, where he interfered with the play.
PK.
A. All right, referee failure to signal offside. The indirect free kick by the referee is displayed by raising an arm above the head and maintaining the signal until the kick is taken and the ball touches no player or goes out of play. So in USSF, if the ball is on the defending third coming out, you can raise your arm, and when he goes to kick it, you can put your arm down and run to where the ball's going to be. But in high school, you have to keep your arm up. What happens if the referee fails to signal an indirect free kick and the ball goes directly into the goal? Anybody?
Retake.
Yeah, you can't say, well, you should have known, you know, I said it was indirect. The kick is retaken. And you're going to get some grief. All right, that's on page 68. Throw-ins. Again, one of those blade of grass kind of things. How much are you going to be in control or how much you're going to manage? The ball goes out of play. Don't worry about which blade of grass it went over. But the player must be facing the field of play, must have both feet on or behind the touchline. They must use both hands. The ball must be delivered from behind and over the head in one continuous motion. Opponents may not impede nor interfere with the thrower and be 2 yards from that point of the ball. Suppose somebody comes up, an opposing player, and they're jumping up and down with their hands behind their back, interfering with the throw-in. What do we get?
Caution.
Caution. Caution. If on the throw-in the ball fails to enter the field, again, a little different than USSF, if the ball fails to enter the field before it touches the ground, the ball is awarded to the opponent at the spot of the throw-in. Corner kick. A goal may be scored directly from a corner kick, but only against the opposing team. And this is a little confusing at times. Well, you know, how are you going to score on your own team? It must have happened. That's why they had to write the law. A corner kick is awarded to the opposing team when a free kick is taken from outside the penalty area and goes untouched into a team's own goal. So you get a corner kick. The opposing team gets a corner kick. Players from the defending team, again, shall be at least 10 yards from the ball until it has been kicked. What about 10 yards from the arc? Suppose the ball is on the touchline. Can the players be 10 yards from the ball, or do they have to be 11? They have to be 11, yeah, okay. So all these little things is what makes you a better referee. Corner kick. Offensive players cannot be offside on a corner kick. The player taking the corner kick may not play the ball again until that has been played by another player. The penalty is an indirect free kick awarded to the opponent from the spot of the foul. I and many of you have seen a corner kick. The ball hits the goalpost, comes back at the player, and he whacks it in, and indirect free kick. He only gets one bite of the apple. Goal kick. A goal may be scored directly from a goal kick. True or false?
True.
True.
Sure?
Yeah.
Goal USA.
False. You must add, but only against an opposing team. I don't know where those red lines came from. Let's say the Bishop England goalkeeper kick on goal kick. A Stratford player runs into the penalty area, gets to the ball first and scores. So the Bishop England goalkeeper has a weak goal kick or missed kicks. A Stratford player runs into the penalty area, gets to the ball first and scores. What's the restart?
Kickoff.
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 Yeah, kickoff. An Orangeburg goal kick. On an Orangeburg goal kick, an Orangeburg player is 20 yards in an offside position in the Newbury half of the field. The Orangeburg keeper uses the wind to get the ball to his teammate in an offside position, who then scores. What's the restart?
Kickoff.
Kickoff. Kickoff. Kickoff. Well done. Anybody know what these red lines are? Or can anybody else see the red lines? Okay.
Yeah, they're
accidentally edited the screen.
All right. Not important. Players opposing the kicker shall remain outside the penalty area until the ball is in play. The ball is in play when it is kicked and moves. After the goal kick is taken, the ball may be played by anyone but the kicker. Penalty, indirect free kick awarded to the opposing team from the spot of the foul. All right, here's another little scenario. The Blue Star keeper takes the goal kick, but it is misstruck and goes to the Red Smile number 2, just outside the penalty area, who passes the ball to Red Smile number 8, who scores. What is the restart?
Kickoff.
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 Very good. Kickoff. How about this? On a goal kick, Blue Star keeper hits Red Smiley, player in the back as he attempting to leave the penalty area. Red Smiley player turns, controls the ball, shoots and scores. What is the restart?
Kickoff.
Kickoff.
Why?
He was moving away from the ball, trying to leave the area.
Goalkeeper played it.
He was attempting to leave the penalty area. Okay, that's the key. He was attempting to leave the penalty area. Kickoff. Goal kick situation. Wanda goalkeeper has placed the ball on the right penalty area for the goal kick. She decides to kick the ball from the opposite end of the penalty area. She picks up the ball once. She has placed it on the ground and moves it to the other side of the penalty area. Is that good? Can she do that?
No.
Not supposed to.
not supposed to.
No, not in high school.
Anybody else? So I wrote this question to make sure that when you write your report, you're using the correct terms. Read the question.
That's in the penalty area line.
There you go. Okay. The ball must be placed on any point inside the goal area, not the penalty area. When you're filling out your report, make sure you use the right terminology. As she has not put the ball into play, there is no penalty. There's the page, there's the article. Again, do not put gasoline on a little spark. Okay, just get the play going and move upfield. Questions? There's the page number.
You might be able to just ask the question or talk to the player and say, do you know what you're supposed to do? Because if she's putting the ball from one side of the penalty area to the other side of the penalty area, does she even know what the requirement is for a goal kick? And
right.
If she does and she's delaying the restart, you can go have a good time.
So let me ask you a question. The book says the goalkeeper shall not pick up the ball and put it into put it into play. So if you shall not pick it up,
Yeah.
why are we saying that if there's no penalty?
Okay, so what does it say? It says she shall not pick it up and put it into play. Did she put it into play when she picked it up? No.
Nope, she's moving it from one location to another.
Right. All she did was move it from one location to the other. So she has not put the ball into play, so there is no penalty.
Still a dead ball.
Yeah. Good.
Right.
All right, let's move on.
Okay. Yeah, so
the ball is simultaneously kicked out of bounds. Where is the ball placed? Anybody?
5 yards in and drop
Yep.
ball to the last turn and touched it.
5 yards inside the boundary line. Who gets the ball? The team that was in possession of the ball prior to the simultaneous touch, unless it is in the goal area. All right. The game is restarted with a drop ball. So let's talk about drop ball for a minute. When the ball is caused to go out of bounds by two opponents simultaneously, when the ball becomes deflated, following a temporary suspension of play for injury or unusual situation, or when simultaneous fouls occur of the same degree by opponents. Placement of the drop ball. Says the ball should be dropped at the location where it became dead unless it is within the goal area. In that case, the ball shall be dropped on that part of the goal area line which runs parallel to the goal line, nearest the location where the ball was when stopped. The ball is dropped from waist high by the official. So if you have never done a drop ball before, do not bend over the ball when you drop it, because you will probably get hurt. I've seen younger referees just bend over and keep that way, and they get kicked in the face with a ball or a cleat. So drop it and take a step back. It says in all cases, all other players must remain at least 4 yards from the ball until it is in play. The ball shall touch the ground before it is played. Drop the ball again if it touches a player before it hits the ground, or leaves the field of play after it touches the ground without touching a player. What is the restart if a drop? What is the restart if a drop ball enters the goal without touching at least two players? If it enters the opponent's goal, it's a goal kick. If it enters the team's own goal, it's a corner kick. Okay, the same with like the corner kick. If he kicks it into his own goal, it's a corner kick. All right, here's another little scenario. There's a page number. Stall defender, either inside or outside their penalty area, kicks the ball. It hits the referee and is deflected over the goal line, not into the goal. What is the restart?
Drop ball, isn't it?
Okay.
So let's see. It says the ball remained in play after striking the referee. It did not change possession. A promising attack did not develop and the ball did not enter the goal. So the restart is a corner kick. It's on page 42.
It's on the test too.
Yep. All right, there's another little situation. The attacking player kicks the ball from either inside or outside the opponent's penalty area. It strikes the referee and deflects over the goal line and not into the goal. What is the restart? The ball remained in play after striking the referee. The ball did not change possession. A promising attack did not develop. The ball did not enter the goal, but crossed the goal line. Again, this is a goal kick. Penalty kick. A penalty kick shall be awarded when a foul, which ordinarily results in the awarding of a direct free kick, occurs within the offending team's penalty area. Says the Rock Hill attacker is moving into the attacking third of field when the water sprinklers start working. What is the restart? Anybody?
Outside the box.
Right, free kick from where you stop the ball.
Drop ball.
Outside
See.
the penalty area.
Better be outside the penalty area.
Comes a drop ball to the Rock Hill thing. You stop play.
The drop ball where the attacker was when the sprinklers came on. Okay. Position of referee and assistant referee, or head referee and referee. The head referee needs to be able to see the kick is taken properly and no encroachment occurs. The referee positions himself to watch the goalkeeper movement. The keeper must keep 1 foot on the goal line until the ball is kicked. So if you see the assistant referee here, or the AR, if you have a 3-man system, the referee can see these guys, make sure they don't cross the line, and he can look down the line at the goalkeeper. Who's kicking that ball the way he's standing? Green socks. What's the name of the player kicking the ball with the way he's standing with those green socks?
That's Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, yeah.
Messi.
Let's go.
Messi.
Yeah, moving on. How many infractions are in this photo? So has the ball been kicked yet?
2 infractions.
No, the ball has not been kicked yet.
3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6.
6.
5.
And don't forget the AR as well.
7. So the keeper is off the line. The ball's not been kicked yet. You've got players encroaching. What about the white player at the bottom? Is he good?
He's outside.
He's good. He's behind the ball.
Right.
Okay, he's good. He's behind the ball.
So the answer is 2.
Yeah. Okay. And here
What
you
a 3.
have AAR.
2.
8.
2.
Yeah.
Well, there are actually 3 because the goalkeeper, the white team member in the penalty arch, and the blue players in the penalty area. So there's 3 infractions.
Yep. Very good.
What's the reason?
All right. And that is my presentation.
Bob, what's your take on the AR being on the 6 and on the 18?
It's an
Okay, so
AAR.
in this photo, this is the AAR. So we have referee. The AR is up here at the top underneath the CRO.
Got you.
So it depends. If it's a very fast game, I would stay out here on the 18 because this guy's going to have to run if it's a 2-man system here, and maybe he's got to almost run through the players. So whatever the game dictates is what I think you should do.
Okay, just back up a second or two based on a couple of questions we had.
Yep.
One had to do with a substitution, taking the penalty kick during kicks from the mark.
Okay.
That is permissible, if I recall. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, I think the confusion was if you have a penalty kick during dynamic play and the person is substituted for, that substitute may not take the penalty kick.
Right.
Okay, so that hopefully will clarify that up a little bit. Another one here is I think we really need to go back, and you covered it on every restart, as I recall. Somebody wanted to know if the ball is in play when the referee blows the whistle. And
Yeah, when the
we
ball
all
moves.
know that the answer to that is no. And Bob, would you talk to that just a hair?
All right, the ball is in play. You know, the referee blows the whistle, but the ball is in play when the ball moves. Again, it used to be the ball had to travel a circumference. When I was refereeing, maybe in 1953 or something, but it's changed. All the ball has to do now is move. Now, what that means to Luke and what that means to me, or what that means to, you know, James Neary is different, but the ball has to move.
Okay. And I think you said just a bit ago, a player needs to put the ball in play.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a question on that effect on the test concerning a corner kick, with two players come in and one just touches the ball, and so I don't know if anybody remembers that. That is confusing.
All right. So I haven't taken. I think I took the test. I'm not sure. I don't know. But touches the ball does not make the ball move. Okay. When we think of something moving, we can see actual movement, not just an up and down movement from somebody stepping on the ball. One of the plays, if you will, that one of the high school teams has is someone will go over and just touch the ball with their foot once it's in place in the corner kick. And then the next person will run over and they'll bring the ball in. The ball hasn't moved by just putting your foot on it or tapping it. It has to move.
But Bob, that second player can play the ball, and it still becomes an indirect. No, it can't. Yeah,
yeah.
Yes, that's
Absolutely.
correct.
Look, I haven't gotten to that question you're referring to on the test yet. It must be about the second or third question, but the book here says the ball shall be kicked from the ground within the quarter circle, including on the lines where the ball left the field play. The ball is in play when it is kicked and moved. Now, kick has some room for definition or whatever, but it's pretty clear it needs to be kicked and moved. Now, I don't know what that question was, unless you got it handy. I can't say anything more than that. That's on page 74. One other thing on the corner kick, the book also specifies that it's the ball that 10 yards is required to be measured from, rather than the corner arc, which is FIFA law. I'm not sure how many people are going to take a measuring stick out there or tape and worry about that, but test purposes, that's the way that's stated: ball, vice, penalty arc.
Hey, Bob, could you put that penalty kick thing back up where it was showing the infractions again, please?
Great.
You see, you're showing the position of the referee and the ARs if it's a three-man system. If it becomes a two-man system, the referee is going to wind up being on the goal line. It's got to be.
Was that Jack?
Yeah, this is Jack again, Bob.
Yeah,
because the trail official is controlling the kickers coming in. So you only have two officials. Right. So in a two-man system, guys, the referee, instead of coming out from where they're showing in the three-man system, he's out in the 18, almost back to where the penalty kick mark, even with the penalty kick mark, effectively, he has to move down and become the goal judge and the goalkeeper movement. And I don't know if you can have the trail official look for encroachment or not. He may be back out the midfield line in the circle. He may be able to help you. He may not. So in the two-man system, the responsibility, whether it's kicks from the mark at the end of the game or even during the run of play, you have to be pretty sharp when you're the referee in that particular case.
Jack, you and I both know that if the assistant, the referee, not the head referee, and the two-man is at the halfway line when you're taking a penalty kick, we need to wait till he gets where he's supposed to be, which is just outside the penalty area line.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Bucky. But in the kicks from the mark at the end of the game, though, he's not going to be pinched down. He's going to be controlling the kickers that are.
Might have to from the center circle. But
From the center circle, probably.
In that case, the head referee can stand there on the goal line and watch both the kicker and the keeper, hopefully.
And encroachment. And encroachment by the non-kicker and the goalkeeper too, huh?
There wouldn't be encroachment at the end of the game.
One point of clarification.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. You're right.
Go ahead,
Ben Green asked a question about do the players that take the penalty kicks have to be on the field at the end of the game?
No.
Correct.
No,
any player who hasn't been disqualified.
Hey, Bob, can we make sure that everybody knows in review what the length of the overtime periods during the regular season versus the playoffs, so you don't wind up playing during the regular season 2 10s mandatory and then 2 5s golden goal during the regular season. Remember, during the regular season, it's 2 5s mandatory and then kicks the mark.
Right.
Don't get yourself in trouble.
Hey, Bucky, what is that for JV?
Same.
Okay.
All levels of play in high school have the same overtime procedures, JV and varsity. That is a state exception to the SCHS, to the NFHS rules that talk about overtime for 80-minute games. Same thing.
And when JV is an 80-minute game.
There's another question here about clarifying a drop ball situation in the penalty area. Isn't it a drop ball to the defending goalkeeper regardless of who touched it last?
Yes. It's to the defending goalkeeper. Because you wouldn't want to give that to an attacking player.
Yeah, so everybody knows that if we stop play and it's a drop ball, it's going to be to the defending goalkeeper. Are the players still required to give 4 yards? The defenders?
Yeah, absolutely.
They got to give 4 yards. Do they have to leave the penalty area?
He has to give just the 4 yards.
Okay. Let's see what else is up here.
Can you clarify that again?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Can you clarify that again for us? Drop ball in the penalty area to the goalkeeper. How far do the players need to be away?
4 yards.
They don't need to be out of the penalty area?
No.
I think at one point they need to leave the penalty area, but let me go see if I can find the answer to that.
I'm pretty sure on the drop ball, they do not have to leave the penalty area, just be 4 yards away.
Bucky, I know it's been different in different states. I just moved back here from Ohio where I did officiate in the fall, and it was just the 4 yards in the box.
Penalty area.
In the penalty area, excuse me. It was just 4 yards.
Sorry.
So on page 40 of the rule book,
yes,
it is.
Page 40.
You have to leave the penalty area for a drop ball to the goalkeeper.
It's Article 3.
Good. I sit corrected then. I'm going to have to find out where I made my mistake.
Now, if you're on the edge of the penalty area, it'd still be
says,
penalty area and not less than 4 yards.
Article 3 says
could apply depending on the drop ball is being held, but all the opposing players must be out of the penalty area.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Correct. My mistake. Thanks for finding it. Any other questions? We're good.
There's one more. So for kicks from the mark, it doesn't have to be the players that were on the field at the end of the game that take the kick.
Correct.
That's true. The only players that are disqualified from taking the kick, if I recall, are the ones that are disqualified, red cards. All the other players are eligible to take kicks from the mark. Is that correct, Bob?
Yeah. Any disqualified players cannot take any kicks. And again, there's a difference between USSF and high school. Someone mentioned about only the players on the field, but in high school, any player, as long as they have not been disqualified.
Okay. Does anybody have any other questions?
Good point, Bob, about when you can retake the penalty kicks.
Right.
When you can restart with the same player. In other words, that's different. It's also different in USSF where you have to use all 11 players on the field, or if they've reduced before you can start with the same kicker. In high school, you only have to go through the first 10, and then you can use the same kicker.
Yeah.
Good point. That was well done.
That'll confuse us.
Yeah, well, just remember what level game you're doing when you go into it.
It's a tough job.
Tell me, buddy. I've made all these same mistakes, so that's I'm not pure. I can tell you that, buddy.
So, Bucky,
after the 15th kicker, it cannot then again be the 5 kickers that just kicked for 16 through 20. It can be anybody else that has already kicked, but not the 5 that just preceded that.
okay. Bucky, we're going to do this Tuesday night, right?
That's correct, 7 o'clock.
Okay.
If you were not able to attend tonight, you should attend Tuesday night with the same presentation. If you will look at the very top of your chat box, there are 2 links posted there. One of them is a link to the High School League website that has all the previous presentations posted, and you can go there and review them at your leisure. I suggest it would be a good thing to do before we get out starting to play games. Charlie's rules presentation, which Scott suggested you might want to look at, and I agree with that. I'm sure most do. There's also a link posted there for that purpose as well. Jan has sent or will send shortly a link to register for the presentation on Tuesday at 7. Do any of the directors have anything for everybody?
Can you?
Jan, would you please post the attendance
Sure did.
roster, and before you sign off, please log in with your district.
I did, and I've got 100% voted right now. 87 of 87 have voted.
All right, that's great, super. Thanks for the turnout tonight.
I would encourage everybody to show up again Tuesday night, and if they want to have some more questions, even the newbies that are here tonight. This is basically supposed to be a newbies meeting. I would suggest that you attend it again if you think you need to, huh?
Outstanding.
Again,
outstanding. Everybody is invited. It's not exclusive by any means, but just let you know what the requirement might be. Good job, Jack. Thank you.
If we're on the video call, we still get credit for the poll, correct?
If you will send an email with your phone number to your director, because if you're on the phone, you can't take the poll.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I go back and review the PowerPoint afterwards. I'm at work right now, so I had to listen in.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Dan. Y'all have a blessed night, guys.
looking out into this audience, it looks like a bunch of newbies with different colored hair on their chin, hair missing from the top of their head. So we've got a good class of newbies out there.
Okay, we're all done.
See ya.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Good job.
Go for
All
it.
right. See ya.
Did you say that the individual PowerPoint will be posted somewhere?
Who's that, Ben?
Yes.
I have to copy and paste this down here. I don't see it on.
Yeah, I clicked on the link.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
It just goes up.
See ya.
Oh, screw that.
I clicked on the link at the top and it doesn't. Is it supposed to have the individual PowerPoint there?
Try to move it down to the bottom of the screen.
Think it's the best night?
This one won't go up until later, but all the previous ones.
Okay, we'll be on the same page then.
Okay, every email I've sent out to my district has had these links. If you want to wait for a minute, I'll type it in. I can't get it to cut and paste. Just a second, I'll type it in.
You just put it right here.
Okay.
Type message.
Eudes, give me a call. Rodriguez.
Okay, here we go. Hang on.
So what time's the Super Bowl next week?
7 o'clock.
Who cares?
5 or something.
Who cares?
I'm just wondering how many people are going to be.
Well, then they can be back Tuesday night, Wayne.
There you go. Busy Tuesday. It's only the old guys that are boycotting, Jack.
Good, and we're the good guys.
We're the one with the hair, right? Right.
They say it'll be a mostly peaceful protest.
Yeah, right.
Good night, folks.
Look, hey, we learned freedom from you people, Luke. Come on.
Yeah, I know you did. I'll have a good night, okay? It's funny.
Okay. Got another question. The clock management thing, the clock will stop at 2 minutes. And we will keep time on the field. We've covered that, I think, before, but maybe we missed getting somebody. God.
I'll recover it next week, too.
You want me to copy and paste it?
No. Just let me do it. Okay, that's posted down there at the bottom of the chat page now. I think it's still also at the top. That's just for